Welcome, welcome. Today is Wednesday, October 29th at approximately 2 p.m. EST, as Marty calls it, God's time, and 6:02 p.m. UTC for our friends on the other side of the pond. Today we have with us Hartherium. What's up, Hart?
Hey guys, thank you for having me. Thank you for hosting.
Of
It's
course,
fun
it's
to be
always good to
back.
get you. Oh, yeah, always good to get everybody back at least once a quarter, once a year. We're going to get Delta back on too.
Yes,
All right.
it's great to be back. I don't know if
The
price changes much since last time I've been on, but there's been a lot of roller
it's the
coasters, that's for
same
sure.
price. It's the same price. For people who don't know you, Hart, you want to give a little intro? I know you did some media tours before with us and with Delta.
Yeah, sure. I'm a, member of CT, mostly shit poster more than trader, but I like to trade. I joined crypto for good around after COVID, around maybe early 21 or late 2020. Started straight on chain, just with spot coins. Didn't trade futures for a while, then decided to try my hand there too. Mostly since the 22 bear market. So I guess I got some. I think in good times, spot is plenty enough to catch all these explosive moves, and perps help you to somehow try to navigate the choppy conditions where things are not so good. And that's how I still trade. I have kind of two souls. I have a stack to play on chain and a stack to play with margin on perpetuals, and I treat them separately with separate approaches and separate goals.
I think that's something CT doesn't have. You know, okay, guys, if you're listening, you need to have separate batches of money to do separate things, even if it's like $1,000, you know, or even $100, right? You can't just 10x your portfolio every day and expect it to outperform. Where if you probably just held Bitcoin, let's not say the last year, but if you bought any time in the last 2 3 years, you know you probably outperformed a lot of the perps traders on Twitter. I'm still convinced that there's only like 50 of us that actually make any money, and a lot of the guys that make money usually stay pretty quiet. They're not boasting or shit posting all day. They're more tradfi guys that came to crypto and work in the shadows.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are attracted to the bling, to the flex, but the people I admire most in this space is the people who show the consistency. When you see that, I mean, even any system you can have any edge, eventually erodes over time. But if you're Lindy, if you've been in this space for 5 years, 6 years, you survive 2, 3 bear markets, and you're still here, it means you have something that go beyond the ability to catch maybe 6 months of good time, and buy a Lambo. I mean, yeah, that's great, but the shelf life of these people is usually cycle and a half, and then they are back to zero. So I try to surround myself with at least, I mean, on socials, for example, the people I try to follow, the people I try to interact with, people who show that they're here for the long term.
Yeah, it's I think it's the Watch King. He's like, a lot of people, instantly sell back the watch, right? So they buy the watch and then they wear it for 3 months and then they lose all the money and then, they sell back the 100K watch and, of course for a loss. But thank God they did buy some sort of asset, even if it went down in value, but they can still cash out, right? It's
Yeah, it's not the stupidest thing you can do, I think, if you are
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you're
Buying a
20,
Lambo is probably
yeah.
dumb, more dumb.
Mm.
But for people who don't know, you are a master chef. I've seen you on Gordon Ramsay's show a few times. Do you want to tell us, what brought you to cooking? because you're always posting these photos of these crazy tarts, of these crazy 5-course Michelin meals, but it's you cooking it, which is I find amazing.
Yeah, so the first thing is that most of the credit is due to my wife. We cook together, but most of the very beautiful pictures and videos that I share recipes that we cook together, but that mostly she deserves all the credit and the praise. Especially for anything sweet, like any dessert and such, any cake, it's all her. Yeah, we cook together. We enjoy. We have some cookbooks, so we try to come up also with our own stuff. Uh, it takes less time than people think on average. Like people believe that to have a nice feast, you need to dedicate whole day to it. But most of the stuff that I post, can be done in a hour or two maximum, and can be done even if people are working full time. And just, I mean, I've been working full time for years, and we were just cooking together. Once I came home or whatever. It's doable. It's doable.
I think the only people who don't cook or cook well are the burgers, are the Americans. Unfortunately, every other country, every other nationality cooks at home, cooks multiple meals at home. You don't need to be a master chef to take a little bit of time out of your day and produce something amazing. I would say that cooking for me is much easier than baking. Baking is a science. Baking is timing and exact measurements and airflow in the oven to be perfect. Where cooking, you could just go by eye. You can mess up. You can overshoot the sizings.
It's more forgiving. I agree with you.
Much more forgiving than baking.
Yeah. Baking is my wife's skills rather than mine. So yeah, I absolutely agree. I'd rather be in front of a pan than in the oven.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you can cook a lot of simple meals. It's very easy. If you're listening and you're even in a dorm, I've seen college kids cook out better meals than a lot of CT posting. Thank God we have the crypto soup group from Maru, and that keeps our hopes alive for some of the people. But some of these our bear market meals are absolutely horrid. Absolutely, I would not eat.
I'm gonna post a wild meal for you tonight, Marty.
A good one or a bad one?
No, a good one. Good one.
Okay.
Good one. You'll enjoy it.
I'm ready. My body's ready. I mean, I like anything, dude. And any good meal doesn't have to be any sort of cuisine. I'm good as long as it looks good, it's presented well, and it tastes good. I'm game for it. But some of these bear market meals are borderline. Vomit in a bowl. Sometimes it's terrible. Hart, I had a question here from the audience. They want to know your battle station setup, what you trade from, because the other day you made the meme like, 90% of the time I trade from here, and it was just your mobile.
Yeah. So it was half a joke, but it's not very dissimilar from the real setup. Okay, I do still most of my trading on a desktop screen. I mean, I use my MacBook, and I do not use any extended monitors or anything. I just raw dog the Mac screen. I do follow some position very often from phone itself. But the main thing in my opinion is about the system, not rather the physical setup, because over the years, when people start trading, they start hopefully with the basics. So price action, candlesticks, maybe support and resistance levels, and I don't know. Then you start learning more, and you start getting into the science of it. You start to learn about flows. You start to learn about volume profiles. You start to add indicators. You start to add moving averages, oscillators, RSI, all this shit, and very soon people reach like kind of plateau of complexity, and after you have a certain experience, you start going inverse, you start shredding, you start simplifying, you start, to clean up your game, your system, your signals. So the thing that changed for me over the years now is that my setup, so basically where I take the trade decision, where I do the planning part, where I'm waiting for my entries or where I'm trying to look for my exit, it's much more simplified. So I'm mostly back down to basic TA and maybe just, just bit of confluence with volume or with every now and then, check if, for example, open interest is too overheated and such. But on the day by day, I just simplify much my approach with simple price action and maybe just some confluence of a little moving average, maybe on the 4 hour and such, just for, and the other stuff just jumps to the eye. I'm not even using volume profiles anymore. You kind of see it after a while. You kind of have this like I wouldn't call it intuition because it's not intuition. It's more like it's the same actually with cooking. After a while you just you look at you glance at the pan and you see if stuff is cooking well, if it's fire is too hot, if it's too watery, and all these things. So the reason I don't have 3, 6, 5 screens with different charts, different levels, different news sources is because I simplified my game a lot.
Yeah, it's like another sense, it's like a sixth sense. You just get the feel, you understand the flows of the markets, and it's also a trained skill a little bit, right? Like you're making bets over and over and over again, and some of them play out and some of them you lose. Nobody has 100% hit rate. I think besides like one guy on Hyperliquid, he has like some mega positions on and he's 100%. But majority of people are not 100%. You need to win more than you lose. Even Citadel, the Ken was on, and he was saying like they win like 53% of the trades or something. But the problem is not the problem. The reason why they win is they're doing millions and millions of trades a day, with a high win rate. But at the end, if you're click trading, it's more of like a gain skill. Where if it's algo based, even algos go completely wild, as we saw, on 1010 or even the other day on Lighter. I think hype got pushed up to like 100 or something from some
Sure.
crazy algo gone wild. But when it comes to like TA, feeling the charts, reading the charts, it's all a sixth sense. Cozy has a good one. If ETH is above gold, or is it gold above ETH? One of the two. Then you need to
Gold is
sell.
above ETH, then I'm worried.
Okay, if gold is above ETH, he's worried, and if Dogecoin is pumping, it's over. It's about to be over.
Yeah, it's been fun in recent days where after 1010, after the big liquidation, then Zcash started pumping, and all the old guard of CT started saying, "Oh, this was the sign of the apocalypse. This was and then it kind of proved true. Like it had an insane run, but the rest of the olds got decimated. Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, to give some context,
like,
we went 126 to 101, all the way back to 116. Now just sitting at 111. But even if you bought last Wednesday, you're up like 5-6 grand, even on current price. I feel like the last week we were pushing and front running the FOMC. The FOMC just had the 25 basis point cut, and then we have the press meeting in 14-15 minutes, probably a little bit delayed. But it's going to be an interesting press conversation for sure, because the data isn't accurate or up to date, I guess I should say.
They're blind, no? They're blind.
They're flying a little blind. The U.S. government is on a shutdown, so data was delayed, data was pushed, so they're kind of skating through. They're still holding to the the route that they said they were going to. They're going to keep cutting. They're going to keep cutting at all the next meetings. It sounds like some were in favor of not cutting, some were in favor of cutting 50, but they settled in the middle at 25. And then in the past week, even after 10:10, we've been pricing in that good news, and now you see the news, and it's literally the same price. And now everybody waits for the presser to see the future guidance. Markets look out 6 to 8 months, 12 months. They're looking past, this trade deal with China and the U.S. Even though there's, when there's every market is closed and crypto's open on the weekends, and there's flash crash of some new tariff news or whatever. Like if you zoom out, the rest of the world has no idea what we're even talking about. Like there was no flash crash in ES or NQ or Nvidia, all-time high today. Like the rest of the world isn't even looking at oh, it's so over. And then when we come to the crypto world, we're like, oh, we're trading on a Friday night or a Saturday morning. There's some trade announcement, and we're the only market open, right? We're the first movers, and we're the only market open. And then once you come on Monday open, stock market open, nothing even changed. And everybody in CT got liquidated on that 10:10, just for it to kind of be the same price on that morning. It had bounced. ETH had bounced 3,500 to 42 or 4,300. A huge move. So I guess I'm curious too. Are you trading stocks? Are you trading anything else, or you're just a crypto only?
No, yeah, just crypto. I am thinking to double a bit with brokers and such, but no, I don't have a setup for it. I see a lot of hype, a lot of publicity for people willing to trade stocks and indexes on crypto. I feel it's a bit funny, a bit ironic, considering the cypherpunk origins of crypto. The idea that people now are excited to trade stocks on crypto, it's a bit loop back to the start. We are going to build our own, and now apparently all this big infrastructure is looping back to trade the traditional finance instruments. Are a bit silly.
We're going backwards, Hart. We're going backwards.
Yeah. I guess the advantage is that some people from, I don't know, Turkey or from Kenya can do it without access to maybe American brokers. But for, US audience, for example, to be excited to trade the same QQQ, but this time on Hyperliquid, I see that point in terms of this will pump my bags, yes, but the idea to say this is the future of crypto. So the future of crypto is basically traditional finance. So on one hand, BlackRock and Tom Lee buying Bitcoin and Ethereum, and on the other hand, the gents speculating and getting liquidated maybe on Nasdaq perps on a Saturday night. That will be fun to watch.
It's going to happen. There's going to be pricing discrepancies. There's going to be, World War III, or there's going to be, some tariff news, or there's going to be some outsized move based on some news, and people are going to get liquidated. I've been saying for the past 2 weeks since it's happened, but it happened on PAX-G, which is gold, and the gold perp wicked $500 less than spot. And of course, you couldn't buy it because the front end was down, the API was down, and you just had to watch your position get absolutely screwed. So same thing's going to happen on the Nasdaq perp, or the SPY perp, or whatever other perps they're going to come up with. It's also, I think Denton brought it up, and he was like, oh, I wish I could. He was trying to buy something in TradFi. I think it was AMD or Nvidia or something. And he was saying oh, it takes too long for me to get out of crypto and into my brokerage and then to make the purchase. So if you're looking at that, 1 to 2 days on that purchase, it's too late. Where in crypto, it's click the button, move it, and you can trade it. The ease of access is a key factor here, right? So
Yeah.
maybe once we see some more integration, where if you can just do a crypto deposit, like a Brazilian bank, you can just do a crypto deposit, or a Swiss bank, you can do a crypto deposit, depending on your banking. In the US, then you'll start to see different flows, different users, moving money in and out. Once you don't have to wait, T plus 2 days for settlement in TradFi, retail flows and institutional flows are all going to be a totally different game. And, you'll be able to close your position right at US close, move it, go into the crypto world, trade it, and then move it back, by the next morning open. You'll probably have tighter spreads, more liquidity, different positive outcomes for sure once we get more instant settlement.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a whole world of difference that crypto people don't even know of. To leave the margin that you need to keep a micro ES position overnight, a single contract is like 3K overnight of margin compared to like $11 during working hours. It's like, like the idea that of crypto native people are used to, just let position run overnight over weekends. You just pay funding. You don't even realize it, maybe, but like the other day I saw a screenshot of saying that the Nasdaq perp on Hyperliquid had like 360% annualized funding, and they were like saying, imagine 35 people coming and seeing something like this, like who's going to pay 360% annualized interest to
Who's
keep
even going to
above
pay like
Nasdaq?
one funding cycle? Not even hold for the whole year. Like, who's paying that funding cycle? TradFi guys look at the world in basis points. If you're looking at whole percentages, every funding cycle, like, they're not going to trade that shit. They're going to go do something else. Of course, it gets back in line, and that's the whole point of the funding rate. That's why the funding rate was created, instead of having a dated future at a higher or lower price depending. But yeah, like I'm talking, when I say TradFi, I mean like people with yards of capital, billions and hundreds of billions of dollars. They're not coming to trade on-chain perps. Maybe they'll come market make it and take your lunch for it, but they're not going to be degen clicking. That's not the world that they live in. Somebody asked me, Hart, what's the biggest lesson from a trade that went wrong, or do you always win?
Oh, I definitely do not always win. Actually, it's funny enough because whenever first of all, I log all my trades, and I use also some platforms, some tools. So at some point, I shared some of my stats, and people noticed that, for example, my win rate in the last 90 days, not these last 90 days, but at the time I shared, was like over 80%, and people were like, "Oh shit, this guy never loses." But the picture is missing. There is, for example, you can have a very high win rate, but if again, the classic mantra, if you have small wins and big losses, you can always go, and the life of the turkey, like it's all about keeping the losses small and the wins big. So no, definitely not. What I learned, just to reply to that guy, big lesson which was not learned on a single trade, but for example, over the course of several months, several years actually of practice in perps, I realized that I have, how to say, if my amount of margin grows over a certain amount, I tend to my performance doesn't scale with the bigger positions. I tend to make more mistakes. I guess it's all psychological. I mean, I'm aware that probably you think, oh my god, now a 1% swing is this much money, and you tend to like doubt your bias, or like the trade idea itself, gets more shaky when you see the PNL swings and such. So, for example, I got the discipline in the last months to keep my, like, let's say I finish my trading week, and if my margin is past a certain amount, I will withdraw whatever is in excess and start the next week with the same amount. So I'm able to take my usual position sizes and do the same performance. I noticed that if I keep it with the idea, oh, now I can take, I don't know, 1.5 bigger positions, so next week I will grow even more, it doesn't translate like that. And vice versa, if the week goes bad and my margin is lower at the end of the week, I simply don't top up. I scale down and just take smaller positions until I am back at the level where I'm usually sizing. So lesson, yes, the lesson is don't rush it too much, and also don't, how to say, like, don't top up from your spot stack just to kind of refill or deposit again from your past mistakes. You made mistakes, like your trade went bad, you simply scale down for next week. So that's an advice that I think I can give bluntly to anyone.
Yeah, I like that.
Find your
A lot
comfort
of
zone.
yeah, a lot of people get they get trapped in like this flywheel or this hamster race. I don't know.
Trading.
Like, yeah, you make like 100 grand, let's say, and then you're like, oh, now I can trade with my 100 grand portfolio. Where it's like, maybe you should take that off the table and change your life, and then go back down to a 10K portfolio, because if you lose 10K, who cares? You bank 90, right? Versus if you're trading that 100K portfolio and you go back down to zero, like a fucking 100K is a lot of money to make back. And if you have 50K or 90K left or 80, whatever, you can make it back a little bit easier, right? But if you start back down at zero, trying to get to 100K is impossible. Not impossible, but just generally hard. And that's not just a 100K round number. Could be $1 million, could be 10, could be $1,000, whatever your number is in your head. I know we had a tight stop at the presser here, but the people want to know higher or lower. Let's put a price point for end of the year. Higher or lower from here by
Let's
January
say
1.
Bitcoin. I think Q1 actually will be better. I would say we are top under 125 all the way until Christmas probably, and I think we will break through in Q1.
Q1 bullish. I like it.
Yeah.
Any questions for us, Hart? Any final words of wisdom?
Final words of wisdom is eat better, sleep better, and always be cashing out.
I love it. Always
Call
take
it
profit.
ABS. Always be selling.
ABS. That's great.
That ad
I love it.
strategy.
Thanks, Hart. I know we had a quick
Thank you
one
guys
for all the
for having me
listeners, but
again.
packed with a bunch of alpha, quick, easy. I like the 30-minute, 40-minute ones. It's always good.
It's very digestible. Okay.
Oh yeah. Good
Thank
luck
you,
on
guys. Thank you again.
FOMC. Now let's go bet on what color tie Powell's going to wear at the presser.
I'm looking to scoop bids as soon as it's announced, as soon as he shows.
Alrighty,
Scalping
fellas.
the markets. All right, catch you guys later. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will see
Bye,
you
guys.
for Eden Friday morning.